G'day YouTube, my name's Lance and welcome to Bundy Bears Shed. Well, today it's Saturday morning. I should hopefully get a bit of a shed weekend in. We've got the shed over east pretty well sorted out. I think the real estate agents are going in there today to take photos and all that sort of thing. So with any luck we'll get a bit of time in here having a fiddle. And well, look, I probably look like I've got the top of my head missing, but Sparex give me hats all the time. Yeah, Sparex are a tractor parts company, and we sell a lot of parts for them. So they supply us with hats. But this one, being a camo hat, and it's got a tiny little 50-year thing on the side of it, you can hardly see. So as far as an ad goes, they're not much of a cap for an ad. But anyway, yeah, nice free hat. I like hats. So yeah, we just chuck a hat on and away we go. But yeah. Never had a camo hat before. Yeah, I'm thinking of buying a gun now. Yeah, see how we go. Look, the other day I showed a little bit of this stuff, this Tap Magic, and everyone was saying, "Oh, geez, good shit. Yeah, you'll love it." And so I do have a few other cutting compounds that I've used over the time, and they've each got their own little thing, but one I've had a fair bit of success with, which is pretty well the same as Tap Magic, I'm hoping, is that Rapid Tap. Now, I've used that quite a lot over the time. I think I've got 3 cans of this ahead of myself, so yeah, it should last me a little while. I don't use an awful lot of it. That's for just your normal tapping. There's another one we use just for the aluminium, and that's this A9 aluminium cutting fluid for threads, and it does seem to make a difference. Seems to work all right, so we'll put that in the lineup as well. Now, back when I did my apprenticeship back in the 1970s, we all used to use this Trefolex, pretty dungaree looking tin. The magic cutting compound, it says underneath there, and look, it's good stuff. It has a smell of its own. When you put a little bit, I often, if I'm drilling, I just get the drill going and pop the pot up and put a bit on the drill and away we go. But it leaves a bit of a greasy finish on your job, but it certainly does help. And a little while ago I was in a shop and I saw this stuff. Molly Slip, molybdenum disulfide, high performance metalworking compound. And look, that's good stuff too. It's good for drilling and tapping. With both of these products, both of those, it's more like a grease and you get a little bit of smoke coming off your job. On the back here, I don't know if I can get that where you can see it. Yeah, it shows for using on the lathe and all that, and I have done that, but on the lathe I don't use this sort of thing so much. It just flicks everywhere, and yeah, well, it gets in my bloody whiskers and things like that, and it's just not on that. Yeah, we just can't put up with that. And but look, if you watch a few of my YouTube clips where I've done a bit of machining on the lathe, you'll often see a little squirt coming in the side of something, and this is what I use. It's Worth cutting compound, cool cut, and it's good stuff. And when you hold the button down, that's it, a metered dose. It doesn't just keep pouring away. So if you want an extra bit, you've got to press it again. So even though it's expensive, look, in Australian bucks, it's oh look, I was paying. I was paying $32 or $34 a can from the Worth rep, and anyway, they're a nice bloke and we're just buying it. I've probably got 6 or 8 of them ahead of me to use, and anyway, I jumped on eBay and had a look, and there's a mob selling them for 20 bucks, so same stuff, exact same thing, so we bought some more. So with the cutting compounds, the ones that I've used, I haven't used the Tap Magic aluminium or the normal Tap Magic is yet, but look, if they're half as good as the other ones, they'll be good, and All reports say it's pretty good gear. So yeah, we'll get to that. I probably won't open them just yet. I'll wait until I have cause to open them. I don't need 6 cans of open stuff all at once. So yeah, we'll give it a run when the time allows. But yeah, I suppose other people have got heaps of cutting compound, different stuff as well. So I used to be Blake Smithy. Used to run a engine machining shop in town, and I'd often see him when he was doing bits and pieces, and like surfacing a head or something like that. And he always used to just have a little squirt bottle of water, and I was like, "What's in that, Smithy?" He says, "Water." And I was saying, "Put anything else with it?" He says, "No, just water." Because yeah, if they were doing a job, he said, "Oh, it just keeps the tip cool and just a squirt now and then," and that did okay. But once the job was done, they'd spray it with a bit of WD-40 type stuff, so the water wouldn't generate any rust. So that worked well, and yeah, it's just whatever floats your boat, I suppose. But anyway, we'll see how we go. Another part of the clip this week is I got my new compressor through the week, and I've already taken a bit of footage of that, and I've got it stuck up in the corner there. But I do have to plumb it up. The other compressors were stuck. I had 2 compressors up the back there, and to run the bead blast cabinet and things like that, or even the sanders, I had to run both of them. And so I had a little manifold made, which was this bloke here, and that was out and that was in from the other compressor, and yeah, and this hung up on the wall like that, and that was the water drain. There's a bit of water there now, and that was the water drain, so the air come up in higher, and then it had to go up to a pipe, an inch pipe that goes around the wall, and then and that was sort of in a low spot too, so any water generated in the system had a good chance of coming back down here. Now I see a bit of a discussion the other day on the tube and on Facebook about what to use for airline around the shop. Well, this is what I choose to use. It's blue line polythene pipe, and I just had a look on it. I couldn't actually find a pressure rating, but I did have it once upon a time. And it comes with a connector, a screw-on connector like that, and inside that there's an olive that clamps onto the pipe. Then this bit here, it screws up into the fitting in here and locks on. And if you have a look here, this is a piece I've used, and see there's 4 positive locks all the way around there to stop that from coming out. It's not proper air hose. It's high pressure water pipe that's used in any new home. If you have a new home in Australia that's on a concrete slab, and you probably have a steel or a pine frame with plasterboard or gyprock on the side, you could just about bet lefty that there's some of this stuff up in your roof. And what they do, they bring the town water in, and because the house is on a slab, they run this stuff up in your ceiling. And my house is the same, and it just seems a prick of an idea, but running water up in your ceiling. But if you ever have a pipe blow out or something like that, well, yeah, it's going to be a mess, and I suppose it does happen from time to time. But in saying that, the town pressure around town here is between 30 and 60 pound, they tell me. I don't think there'll be many at 60. We don't have town water out here. We have a tank and a pressure pump, and I've never put a gauge on it, but it's probably 30 pound, 40 pound, something like that. So we've got a fair bit up our sleeve with that. But as for air hose, this is 1 inch air hose, and I've got this running at around about 1/4 of the shed, up under one of the purlins on the shed. Now, when I was working for John Deere years ago, we set up a whole brand new workshop, and we put a big loop of this stuff right around the shed to run nut guns, and we had a couple of outlets for running nut guns and things like that for getting tractor wheels off. But before that, I was working for Case, and I did about 8.5 years with Case IH. I started off as Case, then ended up Case IH back in the 80s. And they had like a white airline, and it was quite brittle stuff. And actually one day, being a young bloke, I was just plugging an air hose in, and probably wasn't being particularly careful. You know, typically a young bloke, just bang her in and let's get going. And when I put it in, I must have given it a twist or something, and that whole white airline exploded, and I ended up with little bits of plastic all in my dial, and no harm done. Yeah, and where all the little bits of plastic come out, there was a couple of drops of blood from each one, but none in my eyes or anything like that, and yeah, looked like some Sheila's old man bloody up me with the bloody saltpeter. I was 14 shotgun of them, and bloody all these little blood dots all over my face. So, and yeah, I went to give it a wash, and yeah, the old boss, and he shit himself. He said, "Holy crap, what's happened to you?" And but anyway, the part of the story was that the white stuff was brittle with age, and it because it got brittle, it cracked and it let go, and these little shards of plastic went everywhere. This stuff here will never do that. It's a soft polyurethane product, but it's thick wall, and being the high pressure stuff, it's good. Yeah, I was trying to find what pressure it did go at. It was rated at, and I used to know, I used to have it somewhere, but I can't seem to find it at the moment. But I thought it was 230 or 300 pound, but look, that could well be wrong. My air compressor, the new ones, it says it'll deliver 42 cubic feet a minute at 140 pounds per square inch. I don't want 140 pound. I don't need 140 pound for what I do. I'll probably be dropping that back to about 115, something like that. If you look on a lot of your air tools, say that you'll need 6 litres per minute at 90 psi, and so if we set the pressure at let's say 115 or something like that, by the time you pull the trigger on an air gun, it'll come down. I used to have a little gauge, and I might even make one just for the exercise, that you'd put on the end of your air hose, and I used to have snap-on air guns, and whenever there was a complaint with your gun's shit, or yeah, this gun hasn't got the balls it used to have and all that, well, the snap-on bloke used to plug this little gauge in, and it was as simple as a T-piece with an airline gauge, or with a glycerin fill gauge with a male and female air coupler. So he'd plug that into the line and then plug the air tool into it and just hold her open. And it was quite amazing that some of the smaller hoses, especially if you look, I'd worked in shops that had 10 mil 3/8 air hose and things like that, where we run a minimum of 1/2 inch most places nowadays. But when you had the little 10 mil and 3/8, 5/16 airlines going places, well, they just wouldn't run a nut gun. You'd have a look at the compressor, and you'd be sitting on 120 pounds per square inch, and you'd pull the gun, and after about 10 seconds, you'd be around 70 pound, 80 pound. And so it was just, yeah, it was quite eye-opening just to see how much you lose through a hose. So, but anyway, with this is a big pipe, so what we're going to do is run this around the shed. Well, it's run around the shed. At the moment I have to run an air hose through a quick coupler, into a long hose to the blast cabinet. So what might happen over the next short period of time is I might run a runner out to the blast cabinet and run this stuff straight to it. And that'll give us some good pressure there for cleaning parts, and good air delivery, good volume of air, and yeah, we'll see how the big compressor goes before we get too carried away with that. But yeah, so today, part of today's exercise is to plumb up the new compressor. Yeah, try and put a bit of a water trap in somewhere. I'll still need a line for the other compressor, and my small compressor it's just sitting over there, little twin cylinder one, and it's 270 litres free air delivery. So I'll still have it as a backup, but I might put it up near the door here now, and as if we just want to start a little compressor to pump a tyre up on a ute or car or something like that, well, I'll tell the kids just jump into that one. But when we need the extra air, we'll make an adapter so we can plug it back into the main system. So I'm presuming that 42 cubic feet will run everything I want. I'll be surprised if it doesn't. But anyway, we'll just see how we go. I've got a couple of at the door, one of the doors over here, I've got a 1/2 inch retractable hose reel, and the spring mechanism in it buggered up years ago, and we've just wrapped the hose up around it each time. And the shed we just cleaned up over east, it had 2 hose reels in it. One, the spring still works, and the other one it doesn't. So the one that does work, I might set it up over near the machine so I can just grab a hose quickly and blow stuff out. But look, we'll just see. And so we'll hook the compressor up. I'll take a bit of a footage of that. I've quite a bit of footage of when I was unpacking it and chucking it up the back corner there. Yeah, I was having a bit of fun, and got all that. Where I cleared everything to put the compressor up in there so I could get the forklift up in there, well, I've got to put everything back yet. It just got late, so I left it for this weekend, and hopefully this weekend I can continue to work on tidying the shed up. I've still got stuff everywhere, and hopefully I'll get the compressor done first, and once that's set up and that little corner's back to how it was, well, we'll go on to the greater shed and do bits and pieces like that. So anyway, look, stay tuned. There's the first part will probably be unpacking the compressor and poking it up in the corner, and then I'll have a bit of fiddle with some of this stuff. I've got a heap of this stuff out the back, and yeah, so we'll hook that up as our air line, a bit of extra plumbing, and yeah, look, stay tuned. We'll see if we can make it all interesting for you, and yeah, see what we get up to over the weekend. It's only Saturday morning yet, so I've got a little bit of time to go yet. So a little bit of time to get up to some mischief in the shed. But I don't get Monday off this next weekend. Ross that works for us, he loves cars, and cars are his thing. And he's got a 2-door convertible Merc and a Valiance and things like that he likes. And anyway, there's down south of us about 5 or 6 hours at Coolangatta, there's a big rod show this weekend, old car show and that. So he got a bit of time off. So yeah, last Wednesday off he went down to spend the week down there. So he's had Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and he'll have Monday off to travel back. So hopefully he has a good weekend, and I've told him to take some happy snaps because I don't mind cars myself. So yeah, we'll just see what he comes up with. It'll be interesting, and yeah, everyone needs a bit of time off, so I hope he enjoyed it, and I'll see if there's anything decent. I'll grab a couple of happy snaps off him and we'll see, but just see what happens. So I'll have to get into it this weekend with no Monday off. I'll feel like my bloody throat's cut, having to work 5 days straight at the shop. It's just bloody not on, eh? I'm going to have to talk to the manager. Well, that's probably me. I'll have to talk to the upper middle management, which is the missus. So, and I doubt that I'll probably get a friendly ear there having days off. So I suppose I just better pull my duds on and get into it. Anyway, stay tuned. We'll see what we can do for you. Well, I just got home from work. The dog's a bit excited, having a look for kangaroos. But look what I brought home. Our compressor died the other day, so we went to town, and well, actually we got it sent up from Brisbane. Brisbane's about 4 hours away, and I ordered it yesterday morning, and it was sent up overnight, and I had it in Bundaberg about 9 o'clock, 9:30 this morning. So great service. So today it's I've snuck home from work a bit early just to have a bit of show and tell. So anyway, I'll get her unpacked and I'll show you what we've got. Well, look at that, a new compressor. The other one blew up last week, so I lashed out and bought this one. This one, I'll just pan away a little bit. It's got a forklift base on it, on a pallet, but it does have rubber mounts that go underneath. The compressor has a free air delivery of 42 cubic feet a minute. The motor on the left, the electric motor, is a 415 volt, 20 amp, 3-phase. three phase in Australia is 415 volt, so it's a 20 amp plug on there. The motor's a 10 horsepower, 10 horsepower three phase, runs at 2850 RPM, and the compressor runs at about 900 RPM. So 42 cubic feet per minute at 900 RPM. I'll give it a run for the first day or so, then we'll change the oil. And over the first week or two of its life, it'll have a few oil changes, just to try and get any running in rubbish out. It's got quite big air cleaners on it. The air cleaners are around 6 inches across. But yeah, I'm going to have another shuffle up in the corner there and work out how to get this up in there. I can get it on a pallet jack. I can get it so far with that, but I'm going to have a bit of a sort up the back, and where my old compressor was straight under the power board, and there's a 20 amp three phase plug there, so I'd like to get it as close to that as possible. But anyway, that's another job. My missus reckons it's Christmas every day in Bundy Bears Shed. I don't know about that, eh? And this is a view from the other side. We've got our cutout switch. The rubber on the end, that's just where I've got a foot sitting on there at the moment. But it's got two B section belts and a pretty handy guard across the belt. So I might put him up on the forks and put a couple of rubber feet under it, because you've got to play when you've got a new toy. You can't just sit there and look at it. You've got to have a bit of a fiddle. So I'll have a bit of a fiddle and put some feet on and work out, if you stay with me and don't get dizzy, right up in that back corner there where the old dead compressor is, we've got to go right in until we go fuzzy. So right up in that end there, behind the drill. So I've got a little bit of shit to get out of the way, but I think I'll be right. Anyway, stay tuned. When I crank her up, I'll be a bit excited and I'll probably try and film. Right, they give us these rubber mounts, and they're a metric thread, so we'll put a little bit of dabble do you on it, and that should stop it rattling through or rattling loose. I should have time to do this one before that goes off. Poke him in there. Whoa. My old boss saw how much I put on there, I'd be in strife. I won't tell him now, eh? He's not my boss anymore. Well, as soon as I got married, I had a new one. Sorry, G. Right, we won't over tighten them. And that should stay there nicely. As soon as that stuff goes off, we'll be okay. Yeah, not too bad. I got it sitting up on the forklift. Might as well cheat. If you've got a way of cheating, you might as well do it, eh? Alright, I'll put the others on and we'll come back. Okay, we've got the feet on. They're all sitting there nicely. Now that little box there, I thought that might have had some switches on it, but yeah, I only used the main switch on the box. So that must be where the relay, I can see a little wire coming from your pressure cutout, so there'll be a little relay in there, and probably apart from the relay there'll be some smoke, because the bloke told me one time that when you see those little boxes there, they're full of smoke. So if the smoke comes out, they're buggered, so I don't want to open it up because it might let the smoke out. So anyway, I just thought that might have had a switch on it, an on-off switch. But it hasn't. The tank, I didn't mention either, the tank is 160 litre. So that's a fair size, I suppose. The old tank was 100 litres. So yeah, we've come up a bit in size there, but we do have 1 inch line around the shed, 1 inch air line. So we'll try and put a nice big coupling on the end here, and it looks like a half BSP thread. I'll see if I can get over there without knocking you around too much. Yeah, half BSP thread there. So anyway, with a 160 litre tank, that's a fair reservoir. Well, it's a fair one for a bloody air tank. If it was a fuel tank on a Land Cruiser, that'd get you down to the shop and back probably to get the milk. On a petrol Toyota Land Cruiser, you mightn't even get there and back again. But on a diesel one, you'd probably even have enough fuel in 160 litres to go to the shop and go to the car, go to the pub and grab a beer. But anyway, on my little Colorado, that'd be about 1,500 kilometres worth. So anyway, enough of slinging shit at Toyota. I've cleared up a little track, so we'll see if we can poke it up in there with the forklift. I've cleared the track up through here, and that's where she's got to go, way up in that corner. But look, I think I've got a track as wide as the forklift, so we should be able to get past the press. And I've wound the table on the mill in and put a few things aside, so we'll see how close we can get anyway, without wrecking the whole show. Well, we pushed everything back and we snuck it up in there. The welding bench has had to have a big relocation, so I'll have to deal with that. I might bring it out in front of the compressor a little bit. Might even try and shift it away, but I've kept it down near the power board, and the power board is just over there. I've kept it near there because where the power comes in into the building, that's where you have the best voltage for welding. You haven't got any voltage drop going around the shed. So anyway, we've got it stuck in there a little bit. It's pretty close to where it needs to go, but I'll need to get a crowbar and push it across at the right hand end, and hopefully it'll slide down next to the old Alfred Herbert drill there. So we'll see. We haven't broken anything yet. Touch wood, and the day's not over. We've got it almost tucked away to where the old one was. It used to sit down the side there, and then to the left there was a little spare 16 cubic foot one we have. So I'll just sneak over there and turn it on. We'll have a listen. Well, that's not too bad. That's actually no louder than the old one. When I bought this one, I knew it was going to be in the shed, and it actually meets workplace noise levels, so you can have it in a workplace and you're okay. So it's a little tight down in through there, but I do have some room over this side, so we might even just move that across 100mm, 4 inches, and give it a bit more room. It won't worry the old pedestal drill and the old Alfred Herbert here. It won't worry that at all. Oh, it's a beautiful old drill. 3-phase, yeah, all silver switches up inside, forward, reverse, and yeah, lovely old thing. Table goes up and down like a milling machine, like a knee. But anyway, we'll try and, I think we'll sneak that across a bit. But as for the compressor, we still have to do the plumbing, but that'll be another day. Yeah, it's getting dark now, so I've got to do a few other things before I go up to the house. And anyway, all in all, it's been a good day. So hopefully this one serves us well, and yeah, hopefully I haven't got to buy another one for a fair while. So we'll see what happens. The last one lasted many years, and that was running a full workshop. So it got turned on every day of the week, plus quite a few weekends. So this one won't get used half as much as the old one, but we should have plenty of air up our sleeve now for running our blast cabinet. So, stay tuned. It comes in through here, comes up there to the inch line that goes round the shed, and there's a low spot here which we have a drain on, so by the time the air's cooled down a bit it'll be okay. Under here we have another tap, and that's another drain. As the water goes up into the main system, any water running down can probably get caught in that tap, and every day or two we'll drain that out. So I've had it running. It sits at 130 pound, the compressor. I haven't checked when it cuts in and cuts out, but when I use the new blast cabinet, I've only just got to stop sandblasting and the compressor shuts down almost straight away, you know, within a few seconds anyway. And but while I'm blasting flat out, the compressor still stays running, so but it does a good job. But anyway, that's a bit of a wild looking setup. I had to find a few plumber's fittings. I was having a bit of trouble finding a hydraulic fitting and a plumber's fitting and a bits and pieces, but I'm no plumber, I'm a diesel fitter. So what I ended up doing was I took my belt off, and as soon as my duds fell down a bit and had a bit of arse crack showing, well, she all come good. I could think like a plumber then. Yeah, but anyway, enough of the crap. She's a good thing. She's all plumbed in, ready to go.